what we'll be doing in this lecture is we'll be again revising the concept of hedging, and then we'll be moving ahead with modification of what we have already learned. So, say a person is holding Reliance shares worth rupees 1 lakh. He is holding. Beta of Reliance is 1.5. Beta of Reliance is 1.5. Is it all right? He is bullish in Reliance. Is it all right? We have learned this. If you are selling future but Reliance, selling future of Reliance, this will be a bearish position? Yes. Is it all right? You will have to take a position of rupees 1 lakh. But if you are selling Nifty, is it all right? So you are taking bearish position. This is or either you will be taking sale position in Reliance or sale position in Nifty. You are selling Nifty. That is market. You are hedging through market. Is it all right? At this point is hedging. Selling Nifty through market, then you will have to sell rupees 1 lakh multiplied by beta, that is 1.5, that is 1,50,000. Up till now, this is absolutely clear. Hedging through same security, hedging through market. Is it all right? We are going in deep over here. Is it all right? Where you are bullish in? You are bullish in Reliance. Spot. You have purchased Reliance spot today. Is it all right? So you are bullish in Reliance and spot. You are bearish in Reliance. I absolutely agree. Both the commodities are same. Reliance. Is it all right? But this commodity is a future of say 3 months. Is it all right? I'll give you some rate whereby you will understand that even if I am writing same, they are not same. Is it all right? Say spot of Reliance today, say on day 0. Spot price of Reliance is say 2,103 rupees. Is it all right? 3 months future price will be 2,103 rupees. Maybe, maybe not. Normally it will not be. Is it all right? It is 2,104.50 rupees. Is it all right? On day 1, let me take a rounded off figure. Is it all right? 2,000 rupees. 2,010 rupees. On day 1, the market has increased like anything, and even Reliance has increased like anything. Is it all right? So there is a 5% increase in Reliance price. Which price after 1 day, if you want to purchase or sell Reliance, this is the price available, 2,100 rupees. Is it all right? 3 months future. Now 2 months and 29 days future. 3 months is from spot. That is 0 date. Is it all right? This commodity, please understand, futures are settled mark to market. So daily you can purchase, you can sell if you want. Is it all right? Say today is say 1/1/2020. When will be the maturity? On 31st March 2020. So it is not necessary that you enter on this day and exit on this day. You can enter on any day and you can exit on any day. So daily price will fluctuate, and this is known as mark to market. Settlement is done mark to market. Is it all right? The price of a future has become 2090. Is it all right? Try to concentrate. Spot has increased by 100. future has increased by 80 rupees only. That's correct. Sir, is it possible? The answer is yes. It is not necessary that if spot increases by 100 rupees, then future should also increase by 100 rupees. Is it correct? The future is increasing by 80 rupees. Is it correct? See day number 2. The spot is remaining same. Future is actually decreasing. Is it possible? What is change? 0. What is change over here? 0. What is change over here is minus 10. Is it possible? The answer is yes. Is it correct? What I mean to say is this security and this security, even if the name is the same, they are not the same. You are having this position and you are hedging by this position, even if it is of Reliance. See the price. The changes in price might not be same. So, the concept comes of beta. I will change the name. Normally, beta is between security and market. See how I am finding out beta. Beta between spot price and future price of Reliance. Is that alright? I am not finding out beta between security and market. I am finding out beta between spot price and future price of Reliance. Is it alright? Let me substitute spot by security and future by market. Is it alright? With the same formula. Is it alright? R between security and market, between spot and future. Is it alright? Correlationship between spot and future multiplied by standard deviation of spot and standard deviation of future. Is it alright? Sir, they both are of Reliance. The answer is yes. But still, even if we use this word same, they are not same commodity. Is it alright? There is a change in price of spot will not be equal to change in price of future. Is it alright? So I have found out beta between spot, spot and future of Reliance. Is it alright? This will be beta between spot and future of Reliance. See, beta of security and market. R between security and market, standard deviation of security divided by standard deviation of market. Instead of security, I have written spot. Instead of market, I have written future. Is it right? This is beta between spot and future. Is it right? Let me write down some of the information. Is it right? Standard deviation of a spot, that is this prices. I have taken this prices and found out the standard deviation is a 10%. Standard deviation of future is a 5%. That's correct. And R between spot and future, R between spot and future is 0.60. Let me find out beta between spot and future. It is 0.60 into 10% divided by 5%. That is 2 multiplied by 0.60. It is 1.2. 1.2. So what is 1.2? I'll tell you. How much Reliance spot you are having? 1 lakh. Is it all right? How much Reliance future you are getting bearish? 1 lakh. Sir, they are same security. No, I have proved they are different security. Spot and market prices does not changes in same manner. So they are different securities. It's right. So if you are owning 1 lakh rupees Reliance spot, and if you want to hedge this position by Reliance future, then you should take a sale position in future. Is it correct? Of how much rupees? 1 lakh rupees into beta. Sir, if they are same security, we don't multiply beta. You are absolutely correct. But I have proved that they are different security. So you should multiply beta between spot and market. No, between spot and future. That is, what is beta between spot and future is 1 lakh into 1.2. That is 1,20,000. You should sell future in terms of rupees of Reliance. Even if it is same security, something is multiplied. Is it not? Something is multiplied, and you can fully hedge your position. Is it alright? Try to understand once again. I am holding this bullish position of this product. Is it alright? To hedge it, I need to take bearish position of same product. Agreed, with same amount of risk. Is it alright? But these two products are different, even if it looks same. This is Reliance, this is Reliance. But this is Reliance share. This is Reliance future. So they are different, and so this multiple should be multiplied. Try to concentrate. Beta between spot and futures cannot be termed as beta. It is not beta. Beta is anything which shows relationship with market. It is not showing with market. It is just showing relationship between spot and future. Is it alright? So, sir, if name is not beta, then what is the name? Is hedge ratio. See, beta was useful to find out the amount to be hedged. This is the name given for hedge ratio. Hedge ratio is nothing but correlationship between spot and future multiplied by standard deviation of spot divided by standard deviation of future. Is it right? Here also I will not multiply beta into spot and future. It is hedge ratio which will be multiplied. 1.2. I'll never now onwards I'll never be speaking it as beta between spot and future. I'll always be speaking it is hedge ratio. Alright. If someone says me, sir, hedge ratio is same as beta between spot and future, it is absolutely alright mathematically. Is it alright? But this is what is hedge ratio. If the hedging is done by same security, then how much hedging should be done is nothing but hedge ratio. Is it all? Try to concentrate. Last time I am writing. If you are holding 1 lakh rupees Reliance spot, you are bullish in nature. Is it all right? If you want to hedge your risk, and it should be a complete hedge, it can be done in two manners. You can become bearish in market. You can become bearish in future Reliance. But if you become bearish in future Reliance, how much rupees you should be bearish? Rupees 1 lakh multiplied by hedge ratio. If hedge ratio is not given, that was the case of all the questions that we have done before. Hedge ratio was not given, then we take hedge ratio as 1. We assume that Reliance future and Reliance spot is same. But if hedge ratio can be found out, it should be multiplied by hedge ratio. This much rupees you should be bearish. If you are bearish in market, means you are selling Nifty, is it alright? Then you should be bearish by rupees 1 lakh multiplied by beta of Reliance. Multiplied by beta of Reliance. This much rupees you should be bearish. Is it alright? This is all. If you know this chart, believe me, hedging will become very simple. Is it right? Yes. Sir, if hedge ratio cannot be found out or if it is not given, then hedge ratio should be taken as 1. Is it alright? Believe me, both the formulas are same. Let me do it and then rub it. 1 lakh. What is hedge ratio? Beta between Reliance and future. Is it alright? Why? I am hedging with future. 1 lakh. Multiplied by beta between Reliance and market, because I am hedging with market. That's correct. Beta between Reliance and future is not termed as beta, is termed as hedge ratio. Here comes the concept of hedge ratio. Ask less number of times, but believe me, extremely important concept as far as practical life is concerned, which is nothing but hedge ratio. Sometimes in theory it is asked. People write down answers which are mugged up without understanding what they are finding out. Hedge ratio is useful to find out a complete hedge position. If you are having a spot position and if you are going to hedge through future position, the hedge ratio will give you exact answer how much hedging should be done. A company is long in 10 metric ton of copper. 10 tons of copper long. A person is having bullish position. At the rate of rupees 474 per kg spot. At the rate of 474 per kg spot. And intends to remain so for the ensuing quarter. The standard deviation of the changes in spot. Standard deviation of a spot. I am writing full because sometimes S is confused with security. It is not standard deviation of security. It is standard deviation of spot price. Here there is no security. There is a asset which is copper. Standard deviation of spot is 4% and standard deviation of a futures is 6%. Correlation, having a correlation coefficient of 0.5. So it is R between future and spot is 0.75. What is the hedge ratio? Let me find out first answer. What is the hedge ratio? Hedge ratio will be is equal to R between spot and future multiplied by standard deviation of spot divided by standard deviation of future. 0.75. Standard deviation of spot is 4 is 6. 4 divided by 6 multiplied by 0.75. It is 0.5. 0.5 is hedge ratio. Is it alright? It is rupees kg. It is nothing. Is it alright? It is multiple. It is 0.5. Is it alright? What is the amount of copper? Next question. What is the amount of copper future it should be short to achieve perfect hedge? Even if they had asked me a question, achieve a perfect hedge, I would have answered it. Is it alright? I am achieving perfect hedge or complete hedge. First, I am bullish, so I should be bearish. They have already written you should be short. Short means selling. Is it all? You should be selling. You should be selling future of copper of how many tons? 10 tons. Sir, not 10 tons into 474 per kg. The answer is no. Is it all? Whenever there is an asset involved, you should be doing it with tons. If you multiply with 474, then you will require future price. How many lots? Is it alright? That is not given. Is it alright? So I am taking 10 tons. Should you be bearish with 10 tons? No. If you are hedging it through future, you should hedge with hedge ratio. What is the hedge ratio? Hedge ratio is 0.50. You should be bearish in 5 tons. Write down tons because it is not rupees. You should be bearish selling future copper of 5 tons. That is nothing but 5,000 kgs. Is it alright? Multiplied by what? You can do 474 if you want. Is it alright? Or let me do it directly in this manner. Is it alright? So that it is understood in a good manner. Is it alright? What is the position which I am holding? 10 tons multiplied by 474 rupees per kg. Is it correct? This is alright. I need to convert it into tons, kgs. 10 tons is how many kgs? 10,000 kgs. Kgs will get cancelled. I am having a position of 47,40,000 rupees. Should I be bearish by same amount? No. I should be bearish by multiplied by hedge ratio. I am having spot, I am hedging through future with copper only, still hedge ratio is to be multiplied. Multiplied by hedge ratio is 0.50. So, I will be bearish by how much rupees? 47,40,000 multiplied by 0.5 is 23,70,000 rupees. You should be bearish. That is selling what? Copper. Future. Future price is not given, otherwise I would have told you, if future price is given, I would have told you to find out number of lots to be sold. But here, future price is not given, so number of lots to be sold is not important. This is nothing but 4.4.5. Extremely important question. You should always revise this day before examination because of this concept that we have learned today. Is it alright? This was nothing but hedge ratio. Next. (4.4.10). Please understand, this question was never asked before, was once appeared in RTP May 2019. Sometimes if they want to take a difficult paper, they might be asking this question, so I have taken this in classwork. This was never asked before in examination. It is constant proportion portfolio insurance policy. Is it alright? I will be explaining you what does this mean. Indra has a fund of 3 lakhs. Which she wants to invest in share market. Is it alright? Rebalancing target after 10 days. What is rebalancing? I'll explain you. For a period of 1 month. So every 10 days, if someone rebalance in 1 month, that is 30 days, she will be rebalancing 3 times. The present Nifty is 5326. Spot is 5326. The minimum Nifty within 1 month, 1 month is our criteria, can be at most 4793. It cannot go below this. Is it alright? Should be at least 4793.4. This is forecast. Maximum. It should be minimum, but it is alright. So, what is the maximum loss that can happen in Nifty? In terms of points, it is 5326 minus 4793.4. It is 532.6. 532.6, which is nothing but 10%, can be maximum loss as per this 2 figure which are given. The minimum Nifty will be this. She wants to know as to how she should rebalance her portfolio when she will be doing rebalance every 10 days. That is alright. Under the following situation, according to theory of constant proportion portfolio insurance policy, using 2 as a multiple. This I will also explain you what is the meaning of 2 as the multiplier. Number 1, immediately to start with, this we were going to do, but let us do it now. immediately to start with is 0 year. That is nothing but today. See how much Indira will be investing in equity shares. Try to concentrate. What is fund she is having? 3 lakhs rupees. Is it all right? What is the maximum loss Nifty can make? 10%? Is it all right? I am assuming if I am investing in stock market, it will be representative of Nifty. Is it all right? So what is the maximum loss from this value it may happen? If I invest all 3 lakhs in stock market, what is the maximum loss possible? If all is invested in stock market, it is 30,000 rupees. That's correct. Then what will be the value of portfolio? 2,70,000 rupees. Is it alright? A concept of constant proportion portfolio insurance. This is a concept. What is the concept? Try to concentrate. What is your maximum loss should be invested in equity? This should be invested in equity. So remaining figure, you are having 3 lakhs rupees, 2,70,000 should be invested in risk-free security. In fixed deposit, in T-bills, anywhere but risk-free security. Is it all? So she is having 3 lakhs rupees. Only 30,000 will be invested in equity shares. The answer is yes. That is in Nifty. Is it correct? Equity shares is Nifty. You will be balancing your portfolio in such a manner that it is representative of market. So if the market will go up, your portfolio will be benefited. If market will go down, your portfolio will be at loss. Is it correct? So today what I have decided, try to concentrate. 30,000 in stock market in such a manner that it is representative of Nifty. 2,70,000 in fixed deposit. Let me even write down which is risk free. Is it absolutely alright? I am rebalancing every 10 days. I am rebalancing every 10 days. Let us go to next point. After 10 days. Alright. 10 days later being the first day of rebalancing, if Nifty falls to 5122.96, alright, how much money I am having in Nifty or in stock market? 30,000? 30,000? I had purchased this at what rate when the Nifty was 5326? What is the Nifty after 10 days? We are talking about after 10 days. Is 5539.04. 5539.04. Nifty has reduced or Nifty has increased? 10 days later, Nifty falls to 5122.96. Sorry, it is after. It is 5122.96. 51.
Sir, we have not used 2 as the multiplier.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Constant portfolio. Try to concentrate over here. Is it alright? What we will be investing in stock or Nifty is not a maximum loss. Try to concentrate. Normally it is maximum loss if the multiplier is 1. But we think that our maximum loss multiplied by multiplier. Higher the multiplier, higher is the risk ability of Indira. If the multiplier is 5, her risk ability is higher. If her multiplier is 0, her risk multiplier, she is not willing to take any risk. If the risk multiplier is 2, she is ready to take 2 times the risk of maximum loss. That is 60,000. Thank you, ma'am. 60,000 will be invested in stock and remaining 2,40,000 will be invested in fixed deposit. Let us go after 10 days. After 10 days, the stock will become this. 60,000 was purchased when market was 5326. Yes. And now it is 5122.96. So my stock value would have reduced to this amount. What amount? 60,000 divided by 5326 multiplied by 5122.96. It is 57,712. It is 57,713. 57,713. What you were already having in fixed deposit? Let me see from here. 2,40,000. What is the value of portfolio after 10 days? 57,713 plus 2,40,000. 2,40,000 plus 57,713. It is 297,713. 297,713 is value of portfolio after 10 days. It would have decreased because we had invested something in stock market and stock market has decreased. Fixed deposit, I will not be calculating interest of 10 days. Fixed deposit will be giving me interest after n number of days. That is after 6 months or after 1 year. After 20 days. After 10 days, this is value of portfolio. After 10 days, I need to rebalance it. Try to concentrate. What is the value of portfolio? 297,713. What is the maximum loss which can happen? Is not maximum loss. What is the floor value your Nifty or your total investment can get? Is 2,70,000. It is 2,70,000, 2,40,000. It is 2,70,000. This is the floor value. What is the floor value? If all the money was invested, this is floor value. If the all money was invested in stock market, this is the minimum price which can happen. It cannot go below this. Is not it? So it cannot go below 2,70,000. I need to deduct 2,70,000. So what is the balance money? 27,713 multiplied by 2, which is my multiplier. 27,713 multiplied by 2 is 55426. 55426 you are ready to keep in stock market. Out of what amount? 297,713. Out of total amount of 297,713, now you are ready to keep less money in stock market because stock market has fallen down, your risk has increased. So your new fixed deposit will be 297,713 minus 55426. It is a 242,287. 242,287 will be your fixed deposit. Is it all right? You are having this value of portfolio. Is it all right? After 10 days, what you are rebalancing? Try to concentrate. Out of 297,713, you are keeping 55426 in equity and you are keeping 2,42,287 in fixed deposit. Is it all right? You are again keeping after 10 days? No. Is it all right? What was your portfolio before? How much was in fixed deposit? 2,40,000. Now how much you want in fixed deposit? 2,42,287. So how much more you want in fixed deposit? 2,287 should be taken out from equity and invested in fixed deposit. Sorry. What was the original value of fixed deposit? 2,40,000. How much more you have invested? 2,287. From where you have got this money? By selling your equity worth rupees 2,287 at current price. Is it alright? So your new portfolio will be this. Is it alright? 242,287, 55426. After 20 days, that is after 10 days more, probably this will be last rebalancing. Is it alright? 10 days further, that is after 20 days. From the above date, if the Nifty touches 5539.04, what will be value of your equity? First you need to tell me this. What will be value of your equity will be this. Is it, what was it already? 55426. Was at which value? At this value. Why at this value? Now you have already rebalanced your portfolio after 10 days. So you were having new investment of 55,426 at this price. Original 60,000 was at this price. Now it is at 5122.96. But it has become now what? 5539.04. 5539.04. So new value of equity is 55426 divided by 5122.96 multiplied by 5539.004 is 59,928. 59,928 is value of equity. What is value of fixed deposit new? 242,287. 242,287. What is the total value of portfolio? Is this? What is the total value of portfolio? 59,928 plus 242,287 is equal to 3,02,215. 3,02,215 is the value of the portfolio. Is it correct? Minus what is the floor value? 2,70,000. Again maximum loss. I am rebalancing now. This is just new value of portfolio. 3,02,215 minus 2,70,000 is equal to 32,215. 32,215 will be maximum loss. What is your multiplier? 2. Is it alright? That is 32,215 multiplied by 2 is 64,430. 64,430. Now you should invest in equity. And remaining figure 3,02,215. 3,02,215 minus 64,430 should be invested in fixed deposit. 237,785. 237,785 rupees. So what should be done? How much equity you are already holding? 59,928. Increase, purchase more equity. Of rupees. How much? 64,430 minus 59,928. It is 4,502. How much already fixed deposit you are having? This. How much you want? This. So withdraw from fixed deposit. How much? 242,287 minus 237,785. It is 4,502. Are you getting rebalancing? These two figures will be same. You will withdraw your fixed deposit of 4,502 and you will invest that money in equity shares. You are not investing more 64,430. You are just rebalancing. The rebalancing is done by taking a floor value of 2,70,000 multiplied by 2. That is your risk factor multiplied by 2 is nothing but taken as equity shares, or the remaining you keep it in fixed deposit. A conservative manner if the multiplier is less, more risky if the multiplier is more. Is it alright? This is how you see if the multiplier was 2, if the multiplier is 4 or 5. Believe me, less amount will be in fixed deposit and more amount will be in equity shares. Is it alright? Believe me, if this question is asked, keep this in your pocket. Keep this question for your revision in your examination. If this question is asked, majority of students will not be able to do this, because normally people do questions which are of institute, and this is of institute, but it is only appearing in RTP. Is it alright? This was 4.4.10. Is it alright? Now this I have kept last because it is a weird question. Sometimes I also feel that there are mistakes in this question, but still if it was asked in May 2019 for 8 marks, let us solve it. K Limited operates from 4 different buildings and wants to consolidate its operation into one building, which is expected to cost 90 crores. So building is just a story, they want 90 crore rupees. The board of K Limited has approved an above plan, and to fund the above cost agreed to avail external commercial borrowing. External commercial borrowing is taking a loan except in rupees. So you might be taking in dollars, you might be taking in yen. Of Great Britain pound 10 million. So I think the exchange rate is 90. Is it all? Great Britain pound 10 million if it is equal to 90 crore, ultimately you are getting 90 rupees rate from G Bank Limited on the following conditions. The loan will be availed on 1st April 2019. 1/4/2019 loan will be taken with the interest payable at half yearly rest. The average loan maturity will be 3.4 years. Is it alright? I'll tell you where it will be helpful. With an overall tenure of 5 years, number of years is 5. Upfront fee is 1.20%. How much loan you are taking? 10 million pound. Is it alright? 10 million pound is equal to multiplied by 1.2%, multiplied by 1.20% is overall fee for whole tenure. They will not be asking per annum. 10 multiplied by 1.2 divided by 100 is 0.12 into million is 10 lakhs. Is 1,20,000 pound. 1,20,000. In suggested, they have misprinted it to rupees, but it is not rupees, this is pound. Is it alright? So, this is upfront fee. Alright. 5 years upfront fee. Interest cost in Great Britain pound 6 months is LIBOR plus margin of 2.5%. 6 months LIBOR is expected to be 1.5%. So what will be the rate of interest? Let me tell you, the rate of interest will be 6 months LIBOR, that is 1.05 plus 2.50 is 3.55. 3.55 percentage. Right. Yes, I was correcting this in previous lecture. Try to concentrate. Mac, can you tell me what is the meaning of 6 months LIBOR 1.05? My question is whether this rate 1.05 is for 6 months or is per annum.
So normally we assume it's for per annum, but as it is given earlier that 6 months LIBOR, so we will assume it is for 6 months and add with 2.5.
Alright, please concentrate. This is not to be done. Alright. 6 months LIBOR is expected to be 1.05 is always per annum. Is it alright? What is the meaning of 6 months LIBOR is 1.05% is the rate given is always per annum. This is an instrument which is settled every 6 months. Is meaning of 6 months LIBOR. Is it alright? Is meaning of 6 months LIBOR. It is like this. If you want a 6 months loan, I will charge a 12% interest, but this 12% interest will be per annum even if it is not written. In previous one question, I had interpreted in different manner. Please understand, I told you at that time also that it is a mistake. They should clearly give it that it is 6 months or 3 months rate. If someone is telling 6 months interest rate is 5%, that 5% is per annum. Is it alright? 6 months LIBOR, this should be treated as a per annum normally MAC, and if it is specifically given, then it should be treated as 6 months LIBOR. Is it alright? The 6 months LIBOR is expected to be 1.05% per 6 months, then only this should be taken as 6 months. So this question is drafted correctly. One of the question previously was drafted incorrectly. Is it right? They should be specifically telling. Is it alright? I'll give you that question also. Yes. 90 days borrowing rate is 6%. This should be treated per annum. But what we have assumed that this is per 6 months. This I have assumed, and believe me, they should practically give this. 90 days borrowing rate is 6% for 90 days. This should be written. Otherwise, normally in any financial book, any book, even if you take this as a 1 per annum rate and convert it into 90 days, believe me, all finance people, paper checker will give you full marks. Is it alright? So, here it was incorrectly interpreted, here it is correctly interpreted. This should be treated as per annum. Is it alright? So, it is 3.55 per annum. Is it alright? K Limited also entered into hedge at rupees 90, so spot and forward rate is same. The exposure on the account of ECB loan and the cost of hedging is coming at 4% per annum. So this is interesting. Your spot rate is 90 because these two figures are given. Your forward rate is also 90. Is it correct? So there is no foreign exchange currency fluctuation risk, but you will be incurring 4% hedging cost per annum. Is it correct? So what will be your hedging cost? I have not written interest cost, but hedging cost will be 4% per annum. $10 million multiplied by 4%. Is it correct? It is $0.4 million. 4%, 10% is, yes, it is 0.4 into 10 lakhs. That is 4 lakh pound. This is per annum. This is total. As a financial manager given the above information, taken thus, calculate the overall cost both in percentage and rupees terms on annual basis. Let me first find out cost. Is it alright? What is upfront fee? Total. How the scheme? Alright. What is upfront fee? Total is 1,20,000 pound. Let me find out interest. Try to concentrate. If you borrow 100 rupees, repayable every 6 months for 5 years. Is it alright? Or say repayable every year for 5 years. Is it alright? The interest rate is 10%. What is interest per annum? 10 rupees per annum. How many years a 10 year? 5 years. Then your total interest will be 50 rupees. Yes or no, Sachin? Total interest will be 50 rupees. Yes or no? Alright, your voice is not audible, but concentrate. If first year interest is 10 rupees, first year you will be paying some principal and total interest. So your principal will reduced. So your next year interest might be 9 rupees for second year. Third year interest might be 8 rupees. Fourth year interest might be 5 rupees. Fifth year interest might be 3 rupees. First year interest is 10 rupees. This is correct. And your total interest will not be equal to 50. Your total interest cannot be 50 rupees. Is it alright? How the average duration helps? Is it alright? I'll tell you what is the interest cost actually if we take this figure as correct. 10, 9, 18, 10, 9, 19, 8, 27, 27 plus 5, 32, 35. 35 rupees is interest. Is it on? On a loan of 100? On a loan of 100? Then 3.5 years is average duration. How the average duration will be used? Try to concentrate. What is first year interest? 10 rupees. Then total interest will be 10 rupees into 3.5. Not 5. Is it alright? Because we know that interest is going to reduce. But if you get average duration, you can directly multiply 3.5 and 35 rupees will be total interest for 3.5 years. Is it alright? Let me find out total interest. Duration is more important to calculate the average if all the figures are not given. How much principal you are repaying, how much interest you are repaying. If it is not given, duration is important. Let me find out interest. Interest will be 10 million pound multiplied by 3.55% per annum multiplied by 3.5 years. No, this is an example which I have taken. What is average duration in the question? 3.4 years into 3.4 years. It is 10 million multiplied by 3.55% multiplied by 3.4 is equal to multiplied by, it is million, so I am multiplying 10 lakhs. 12 lakhs 7,000 pound. More hedging cost. See, every year the principal will decrease. So hedging cost, what was hedging cost per annum? I have found out 4 lakh per annum multiplied by 5. No, every year the principal is going to decrease. So this also should be multiplied by 3.4 years, which will be is equal to 4 lakh into 3.4, which is 13 lakh 60,000 pound. Will be total cost, believe me, for effective 3.4 years. That's all right. I am not writing nominally 3.4 years. Nominally it is for 5 years, but effectively it is for 3.4 years. Let me total it out. 1 lakh 20,000 plus 12 lakh 7,000 plus 13 lakh 60,000. It is 26 lakh 87,000. 26 lakh 87,000 pound. Let's call it. For 3.4 years, I am finding out interest rate for 3.4 years will be is equal to cost 26,87,000 pound divided by borrowings. What was my borrowing? 10 million pound multiplied by 100. It is 26,87,000 divided by 10 million. Million is 10 lakhs. 1 million is 10 lakhs. One more zero.
The net proceeds have to deduct upfront fees.
Alright, try to concentrate. There are n numbers of suggestions which are given. Upfront fees, if it is taken as cost, see this is also cost for 3.4 years, this is also cost for 3.4 years, this is also cost for 3.4 years. Is it alright? Then you should not take upfront fees in your cost. If you deduct it from borrowing, is it alright? See, institute has given 3-4 suggested answer. I feel that first suggested answer is incorrect. If you deduct upfront fee from borrowings, is it alright? Your borrowings will be reduced, I agree. But then that should not be considered as your cost. Remember cost of capital. There was something like floating cost, one-time flotation cost. Flotation cost was reduced from your borrowing, but it was not considered in numerator. That is when you calculate your interest. Is it alright? So both should not be done. In first suggested answer which is given in the book, they have considered both. They have deducted it from borrowing also, they have considered it in cost also, and believe me, it is incorrect. Is it right? I am doing which is absolutely correct. If you consider over here, you should not deduct it from here. If you deduct it from here, 0.12 million, is it alright? Then you should not consider it over here. Is it alright? Do it logically, you will be getting some answer which is suggested by institute. Is it alright? 26,87,000 divided by, this is 1 million, this is 10 million, is it alright? Multiplied by 100 is 26.87%. But it is effectively for 3.4 years. You should never consider your cost at 3.4 years. So into 1 divided by 3.4 will give you answer of per annum. $26.87 divided by 3.4, it is 7.90%. Sir, this answer is not given in suggested, it is given in suggested. In second option, it is given in suggested. So, this is cost per annum for borrowing $10 million notionally for 5 years, effectively for 3.4 years. Alright, this is 7.9%. I think I have calculated first. Calculate the overall cost both in percentage and in rupees terms. Rupees terms, the cost is very simple. What is the total cost? 26,87,000 pound. You have taken hedge, and hedge is available at 90 rupees per pound. Rupees cost will be this. Total rupees cost will be this. 26,87,000 multiplied by 90. Is it alright? It is 2418.3 lakhs. But rupees is total cost. Sir, find out total cost in percentage. Per annum terms, it will be 7.90%. Whether it is in rupees or pound, percentage per annum remains same even if you have hedged your risk at 90 rupees. So the base will also not change. Is it all? This is in rupees terms. This is in pound terms. This is in pound terms per annum percentage terms. What is the cost of hedging in rupee terms? What is the cost of hedging? 4 lakh per annum. Let me find out the answer. Cost of hedging per annum effectively for 3.4 years. Per annum cost is 4 lakh pound. 3.4 years is 13 lakh 60,000 pound. Multiplied by 90 rupees per pound. You have already taken forward. This is an forward cost. But all the points are converted. Spot is also 90 and forward is also 90. So everything will be converted at 90 rupees per pound. This is cost of hedging. In rupees, but per annum multiplied by 3.4, believe me, will be this answer. Sorry. 13 lakh 60,000 multiplied by 90 is 1224 lakhs. This is for effectively 3.4 years. This is what they are asking. Cost of hedging in rupees. I have given both the answers. It is just multiplied by 3.4, nothing else. If K Limited wants to pursue an aggressive approach, what would be the net gain or loss for K Limited if INR depreciates and appreciates by 10%? Start it. First, if you want to take a risk and if you keep your position open, start it. What do you save? What will be your savings? Is your hedging cost? Your hedging cost is 36 million rupees in rupees terms. Is it alright? So you will be saving 36 million rupees per annum. Is it right? This you will be saving. Is it right? But if pound depreciates by 9%, you are paying. So you will be benefited, is it alright, by 9 rupees, by 10%, that is by 9 rupees you will be having profit. Is it right? What is your exposure? 10 million pound multiplied by 9 rupees per pound. You will be benefited by 90 million rupees. Is it alright? Profit total. Sir, whether I'll not pay interest cost, of course you will pay, but I am talking only about principal. Profit total on principal. Also, there will be a profit of savings 36 million rupees per annum. 36 million rupees. What they do in book is this, 126 million. This is institute answer. I have copied it. The answer which is in your book is institute answer. I have copied from the book. This should not be added. This is per annum. 36 million is per annum? Yes. 4 lakh rupees hedging cost is per annum. It is not for this savings is overall duration. 10 million pound you are borrowing in overall duration. It is not profit per annum. This should not be added. This is what you should write it down as the answer. If pound appreciates by 10%, you will be having a loss of 9 rupees. Total loss will be 90 million rupees, but you will be saving 36 million per annum as hedging cost. Again, this should not be directly subtracted from this. It is loss, but you cannot find out this net answer. It is incorrect. This is per annum, this is total, you should not. If the same question is asked, which institute sometimes ask, they have proved it in November 2020 examination, SFM new course, that they can ask old question which are having error. So the suggested answers will also be same. But if this question is asked again in the examination, keep your answer up till this point. Is it alright? As this was having an error, this cannot, if you see the suggested answer, this is added and this is subtracted, this cannot be done logically. Is it alright? But if the same question is asked with the same figures, you should end your answer at this without totaling it out. Your answer is absolutely correct and logical. We have calculated only for principal portion, and for interest portion, and for hedging cost, we have not calculated profit or loss if pound appreciates or depreciates. Is it alright? So this is the answer. Normally, whenever you are revising this chapter, I advise not to revise this type of questions. Don't revise the questions which is having some error. Otherwise, your logic will be impacted and you will be going into a point whereby you will be mugging up the questions. On last day, you can just have an eye on it. Never fully revise it, but have an eye on it. If this type of question is asked, I'll be writing it in this manner. So if some new questions directly asked in our due, which was not asked previously, and there are some mistake, solve each and every questions logically. If there is a mistake of institute, if you have attended the questions, you should be getting full-fledged marks. Is it alright?